It was just after dawn when chaos shattered the routine calm of the St. Jude County Hospital emergency entrance. Nurses dropped their coffees. Security guards froze mid-conversation. Patients and visitors stopped in their tracks, unable to believe what their eyes were showing them. A massive German shepherd, panting heavily and covered in dried mud and blood, was limping through the automatic doors. But that wasn't all. Draped across his back, barely conscious and clinging to life, was a little girl no older than 7, her tiny arms loosely wrapped around the dog's thick neck, her face pale and streaked with blood and tears. No one knew who she was. No one knew how she got there. But it was clear, she shouldn't have survived the night. And somehow, this dog, this brave, unknown shepherd, had brought her to safety. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the extraordinary bond between animals and humans, take a moment to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and don't forget to subscribe to Rappel of Hope. This story will restore your faith in the impossible. Her name was Lily, a quiet, curious child with big brown eyes and a love for drawing flowers in the margins of her school notebooks. She lived in a small, rural neighborhood nestled against the forest's edge in northern Montana, a place where people still left their doors unlocked and neighbors waved from their porches. Lily's parents, Mark and Claire, had recently separated. The emotional weight had made Lily more withdrawn, and one fateful weekend, she was visiting her father's remote cabin deep in the woods. That Sunday started like any other, warm sunlight filtered through the pines, and Lily, wearing her favorite denim overalls and carrying her sketchpad, had wandered just a little beyond the porch to draw wildflowers. Her father, chopping firewood nearby, didn't notice when she drifted further into the woods, captivated by a butterfly. Minutes turned to hours. And then, she was gone. The search began quickly. The forest was vast, and the deeper you went, the more unforgiving it became, steep drops, sudden ravines, and predators that lurked behind the trees. By dusk, hope was already beginning to fray at the edges. The rescue team searched for 2 days. Helicopters hovered overhead. Dogs were brought in. Nothing. The only thing they found was her sketchbook, lying open on a rock by a stream, a bright yellow flower half-finished. But Lily wasn't alone. Hours after she got lost, disoriented and scared, she stumbled down a ravine, breaking her arm and bruising her ribs. She lay there, cold and crying, until something stirred in the shadows. A pair of eyes, golden, alert, emerged. Most children would have screamed at the sight of a massive German shepherd, but not Lily. She had always loved animals. This dog, with his scarred ear and soulful eyes, stepped forward and gently licked her face. That was how she met Ranger. Ranger wasn't a pet. He wasn't even known to the town. He was a stray, seen now and then around the outskirts of the county, a ghost dog with a sad past, rumored to have once belonged to an old man who died alone in his cabin years ago. No one knew where Ranger had been since. No one knew he was still watching over the forest. Until now. For 2 freezing nights, Ranger didn't leave Lily's side. He curled around her to keep her warm. He nudged her to drink water from the stream. When she couldn't walk, he let her crawl onto his back. With incredible instinct, he began leading her out, step by step, avoiding paths too dangerous, doubling back when he sensed trouble. His own paw had been cut by thorns, but he kept going. The nearest hospital was nearly 10 miles away. It was unthinkable. And yet, he did it. The hospital ER leaped into action. Lily was rushed into emergency care, stabilized within minutes. Her injuries were serious, but not life-threatening, thanks to Ranger. The dog, though visibly exhausted and hurt, refused to leave the entrance. He paced until they let him in, sitting outside the ICU doors like a soldier on watch. A nurse finally brought him a blanket and water. He didn't touch it until a doctor came out and whispered, "She's going to be okay." Word of the miracle spread like wildfire. News crews arrived. Reporters wanted interviews. Animal lovers flooded social media with praise for the guardian dog. But amidst all the noise, Ranger stayed silent, calm, loyal, watching only Lily. When she finally woke up 3 days later, her first word wasn't "Mom" or "Dad." It was "Ranger." The hospital allowed them to meet again in the recovery garden. The moment Lily saw him, her face broke into the kind of smile only children who've survived the unthinkable can manage, part joy, part tears. Ranger limped toward her, tail wagging, and gently laid his head on her lap. That moment was captured by a nurse. The photo would go viral. But the real story, the deep, inexplicable bond between a lost girl and a forgotten dog, was far bigger than a picture. There were challenges ahead. Lily's parents had to face their mistakes, too. They came together for her recovery, realizing how precious their daughter was and how easily life could change in a heartbeat. Mark vowed never to let his pain isolate him from his child again. Claire, overwhelmed with emotion, later admitted she hadn't prayed in years, but that night, she had begged the universe for a miracle. And it had come, on 4 legs. As for Ranger, he was adopted officially into the family. But more than that, he became a symbol for the entire community. A local sculptor even carved a statue of him that now stands at the entrance to the hospital, with a plaque that reads, "Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear fur." Lily and Ranger now visit children's hospitals together, bringing smiles and hope to those who need it most. Doctors have called her survival a miracle. But Lily simply says, "Ranger found me. He knew I was lost, and he brought me home." If this story touched your heart in any way, if it reminded you of the beauty of second chances, the power of love, and the quiet bravery found in unlikely heroes, please don't scroll away. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, subscribe to Rappel of Hope, and tell us in the comments what this story means to you.